products. Right, before we look at products, I just want to make sure you know how to multiply algebraic terms with one another and how to add algebraic terms with one another. Make sure you know the difference, how you treat these two types of things. When I multiply algebraic terms, say for instance x times x, that will give me x squared. And usually when I multiply, I change the exponent, and when I add x and x, I get 2x. So then I add the numbers in front of the algebraic terms, and I just keep the term the same. You can multiply non-like terms or unlike terms with one another. So I can, for instance, multiply x times y, which gives me xy. I can only add like terms with one another, so I need to have x and x to add them together. So for xy times y, if I have different algebraic terms, then I just multiply all of the x's with one another, all of the y's, etc. So then I will have x, and then y times y is y squared. I cannot add x, y and y because they are unlike terms. I need to have exactly the same term to be able to add them. So I'm just going to keep this the same. When I have x squared and x, I said to you, when I multiply, I change the exponent. So I have x squared, which is x times x, times another x gives me x to the power of 3. A general rule that I can use here is that I just add the exponents together, and you know, if there's nothing, it's a 1. And then with x squared and x, I can't add them because they are unlike terms, so that just stays the same. And for when I have numbers and variables that I multiply, same as there where I just multiply the x's, multiply the y's, I multiply all of the numbers with one another, which is 2 times 1, and I multiply all of the x's with one another. And here I'm just changing the second one to a like term, so I have like terms, and then I just add the numbers in front, and I keep the variable the same. This is like saying 2 pencils plus 3 pencils gives me 5 pencils, where 1 pen and a pen is 2 pens. A pencil and a pen stays a pencil and a pen, for instance. Alright, so let's just look at a difficult one. Say for instance I have 3 a squared b to the power of 3c to the power of 4 times 4a to the power of 3b to the power of 2d. Say for instance I have to multiply these. Just so you get a complicated procedure, what I would do is I multiply the numbers with one another. So 3 times 4 is 12. I multiply the a's. A squared times a3, a to the power of 3, is a to the power of 5. When I multiply exponents, I just add them. And b to the power of 3 times b to the power of 2 is b to the power of 5. Again, I just add the exponents. There is just this one c to the power of 4, and then a d value. And that is then how I multiply when I work with algebraic terms. Right, let's quickly look at when I add a lot of algebraic terms and how that would work. Say for instance I have 2x squared plus 4x plus 6x y minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 2. Right, now what I want to do is I want to add the like terms. So there's a 2x squared, there's a negative 3x squared, and take note I take the sign with the number. So I have 2 pencils and I take away 3 pencils, which I can't really do if I only had 2 pencils, so then I have a shortage of 1 pencil, or you can say I have 2 rand and my mother wants 3 rand from me, so I give her 2 rand and then I still owe her 1 rand, so the O would be negative. And then there's a 4x, and I search for all the x terms and make sure you take the sign with. So 4x minus 4x is 0x, and you don't need to write this. I'm just going to write it so you can see first. And then there's a xy term which I can just add, so plus 6xy. And there is a number term 2, and I just add that also. And then I have let me just get another pen. Then I have minus x squared plus 6xy plus 2. Right, and now this I'm going to use when I do products. And it's just important to know what the distributive property of products is. The distributive property of products I'm going to use and this is something that we all know. The distributive property of algebra is just that when I have, say for instance, 2 times 25, we all use this occasionally in our heads, and I don't know that 2 times 25 is 50. What I would normally do is I break up the 25 into 20 and 5, and I say 2 times 20 is 40 and 2 times 5 is 10, so 40 and 10 is 50. This is a very simple example, but the distributive property of mathematics says that if I have a term multiplied by 2 terms in a bracket, I can multiply this separately and then add the separate multiplication or the products together. So I can multiply the 2 with the x and also the 2 with the y, and then add them together like that. That's the distributive property that we're also going to use in products.